Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to save Metazoo, Metazoo 2.0. What does Metazoo 2.0 look like? What could it be? And what does 2024 hold? And yeah, there's been a lot of kind of negativity on YouTube recently, and you know, wrongly or rightly so. I'm sure rightly so, to be honest with you. There's been a lot of stuff going on. But what can Metazoo do in 2024 to bring it back round, to get people back into it, interested again? And to continue the hype train that it once was. Many of you will be asking, who the F is this guy? Why is he talking about Metazoo? And I'm a UK partner. I'm the partner of the UK of Metazoo. Or at least I think I still am anyway. I haven't been told anything otherwise, although we haven't had much information for quite a while anyway. But I've been with Metazoo since the beginning. I remember Metazoo being shown on the Dice Tower all those years ago, and Tom Vassell and Z Garcia mocked it completely, said it would never go anywhere, and kind of look where it is now. Stocked it from Cryptid Nation first edition, and we became partners at the beginning of the program with UFO. So yeah, I've been here quite a long time, been here since the beginning, and I've been through all the ups and the downs and all that sort of stuff as well. While we're doing that, we're going to be looking through this new Cryptid Clash client. Really cool. I'm really excited about this full release, and I'm just going to do a practice game because we're based in the UK, so we don't actually have many people playing at this time of the day. I'm using the light deck, as you can see, and I'm probably going to play this absolutely terribly because my main focus is going to be on the talk. But anyway, here we go. So what can we do to save it? Cryptid Clash, as you can see, is more or less ready to be launched. There's so many new updates coming out for it, even in the beta mode. And this is what Metazoo really should be focusing on, right? I'm finding this really difficult to talk and play this game at the same time, but there you go. Cryptid Clash, really good client. It's what everyone's been waiting for, really, and I think this is the thing that Metazoo should be honing in and promoting throughout the entirety of 2024. It's the most positive thing that's come out of 2023, and there's a lot of excitement about this because it means that people can actually play with each other. They don't have to look for you know, groups to play with. They can just play online, and I think that's what everybody's kind of been waiting for anyway. And you know, we need to be riding the coattails of this quite a lot. You know, try and get people actually interested in the game, because whilst collecting and investing is all well and good, this is a game at the end of the day, and I think a couple of other YouTubers have kind of touched on this as well. And it's true. You know, this is a game at the end of the day. We need people to be playing the game to create the economy. I mean, the economy of the game. There is quite a lot of people that play the game, and I think as a result, you know, this will kind of bring a lot of people together. But yeah, what they should be doing with this, I think the Casters Cup was obviously you know, cancelled last year. I think it'd be a really good idea to host the Casters Cup on this platform. That would be I think the best thing to do. Hold on, what am I doing here? Target piece cannot declare attacks as long as this page is in the row. I've completely messed this up. I told you I would mess this up, didn't I? But anyway, I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of a show on how this kind of works. Maybe you've seen it before. Argos has been playing it. But yeah, host the Casters Cup on it. That is kind of what needs to happen, I think. And you know, the prizing doesn't need to be financial. And actually, I don't think the prize should be any financial prize at all, because you know, given what's happening at the moment, there's quite a bit of bad taste around financial prizes. But I think they need to do something a little bit different. Maybe make the prize, you know, make the champion, the very first champion of the Casters Cup, solidify them into lore or something, you know, create a character out of them, put, I don't know, make a card for them or something, you know, put them into the lore, make them a character like Sam Sinclair or Adam Ackler or whatever, you know. I think that'd be a really good idea. It'd be a really good way to incorporate the community, kind of bring it back to its roots as well, and not all make it about, you know, large sums of cash all the time. So yeah, I think that'd be really cool. The second thing they need to do is expand the lore. The one thing we've heard about so much with Metazoo is the lore and how we, you know, and how it's going to be the next Pokemon and that sort of thing. And I definitely think it does have the potential for that, right? I know a lot of people are saying, you know, it's never going to be that lately, and but that's not what everybody believed a year ago. And I still think that it is possible for Metazoo to be as big as, you know, Pokemon, Digimon, you know, any of those franchises with memorable characters in them. And I think that's one of the main problems, right? Memorable characters. Excuse me. At the moment, there's like 1,000 beasties, probably something like that. I'm not entirely sure what exactly the number is, but yeah, probably like 1,000 beasties, something like that. And most of the popular ones are kind of being left behind, right? I mean, for example, you've got Sam Sinclair up here. And to be honest with you, unless you was with us from Cryptid Nation First Edition, you probably won't actually know even who Sam Sinclair is. And why would you? Because he hasn't been brought back in any other sets at all. And remember, Ash Ketchum is supposed to, sorry, Sam Sinclair is supposed to be the Ash Ketchum of Metazoo, right? So it makes sense for him to be like a big focus of it. But currently, he doesn't seem to be a huge focus, right? I don't think he's actually featured in any core set since Cryptid Nation. Obviously, he's been in, Hero Quest and other bits and pieces like that, and that's perfectly fine. But they need to expand on those beasties. What makes Pokemon Pokemon? What makes Digimon Digimon? Well, when you think of Pokemon, you think of Pikachu, you think of Charizard, you think of hold on, have I got enough mana to put out? Yeah, we have. You have with Digimon, you've got Agumon, for example. I don't know, I'm not very good with Digimon, but even I know who Agumon and Gabumon are, right? So that's the first thing I think they need to focus on. Like I say, we've already got 1,000 beasties. People generally only probably remember about 10 of them, and those are the most popular ones, right? So the Dragon of Kanto, Bigfoot, Mothman, and those sorts of beasties, right? I mean, the Light Elemental, it's good to have these little characters in, I guess, but I wouldn't say that a Light Elemental would necessarily be a main focus beastie, right? This should just be like a companion or something, or I don't know. I mean, Light Elemental, there wouldn't just be one of these, right? There'd be like a whole team of them. So I don't think there should be too much focus on a beastie like this. But bring back Cumberland Dragon, bring back Wendigo's had a go recently, and so has Piazza Bird in native as well. But I think there needs to be even just a little bit more than that. They need to kind of bring it full circle with all of these beasties. Create an original 151 like Pokemon did. Because Cryptid Nation was years ago now, and many of those beasties haven't been brought back. I mean, Hodag, for example, hasn't really been brought back. I know that he recently came back in Kuromi's Cryptid Carnival, but that's kind of a very, very small card, and it wasn't considered like a rare or even lore building for Hodag, I would really say. So yeah, that's definitely what they need to do. Create an original 151, maybe not even as many as 150 beasties, maybe just 100 or something, and create a franchise from those. Because there's so many great beasties here. Dragon of Akonto, obviously you've got the Mothman as well. You've got you've got Wendigo, which is really popular as well. But then they've left behind certain beasties that were really popular, and they were part of the meme culture of Metazoo, such as Squonk. I mean, Squonk was a huge character, and it kind of happened by accident. But there's been no capitalisation on that at all since since he came out in Cryptid Nation 1. I think there was a pin created for him in Cryptid Nation. But yeah, what a missed opportunity that was, really, on creating a character, like creating a memorable character that people can kind of resonate with and actually enjoy. I'm not too sure what I did there. Like I say, I'm kind of struggling to play the game properly and kind of read my notes and kind of what I wanted to talk about as well. So you have to bear with me, guys. But yeah, the roadmap that we've been shown for 2024, I don't think is going to, solidify the lore in any way, unless, for example, Seven Seas has, Pirate Frogman, Pirate Mothman, Pirate Cumberland Dragon, Pirate Bigfoot, for example. Because if we're going to have 3 new sets this year, and that's potentially another 300 beasties, what is the benefit of creating? Well, not what is the benefit, but what is trying to be created here? Because if you think of like Magic the Gathering, for example, right? I mean, I personally don't consider Magic the Gathering very collectible unless you was here from the beginning and you remember like the Mox Diamonds and stuff and the Black Lotus and whatever. And I got into Magic from around the Torment era, Odyssey, Judgment, that sort of era. God, when was that? Like 2012, 13, something like that. I can't really remember exactly. But yeah, I digress. We are with Magic. There isn't any you know, people don't recognise the characters in it. I mean, you've got a few like summoners and stuff, or whatever they're called. It's been a long time since I played Magic, but you know, you've got like the is it Chandra and all of those characters in there. But there's not really any kind of familiarity with anybody. I mean, if you came into Magic today and you picked up the latest set, you wouldn't have a damn clue who any of these people are, because they are all just kind of random characters. So I think what Metazoo kind of really needs to do is decide whether it wants to be a Magic or a Pokemon in that regard. And at the moment, with the amount of beasties that are being created, it's more like Magic, basically, isn't it? In that sort of sense. So that is definitely the most important thing, I think, in terms of creating a franchise, to create familiarity with the beasties that you're trying to put into the lore. And obviously as well, when you've got beasties of the same type, you know, you've got Frogman in every set, for example, or you know, Mothman. People like to collect, you know, their favourite beastie, and if your favourite beastie is something that has only been seen once, then it's kind of a missed opportunity on that beastie, and maybe that beastie shouldn't have been introduced in the first place. For example, you know, in native, you know, a lot of people couldn't pronounce a lot of the names in native, so I think that kind of turned a lot of people off on familiarity and you know, how people enjoy those particular beasties. But yeah, expand the lore. We need to release some more media. We need more media. I know that the manga's come out recently. Maybe a manga wasn't completely necessary. Maybe you know, something coming out every 2 weeks wasn't completely necessary. Maybe like a mini comic strip would have been better. Something like Garfield, or you know, some of the stuff that you used to see in like newspapers back in the day. You know, you'd have like Garfield comic strips, maybe like a little page or something, or a couple of pages just to expand the lore. And I think people would have appreciated that a little bit more than. There we go. I won, guys. I'm not going to play this. I'm not going to play this anymore. I just wanted to kind of show you what it looked like while we do the video. But yeah, I'm just going to continue talking now. Yeah, maybe a comic strip would have been good. Maybe a page every week or something, you know, just to expand the story. It doesn't necessarily need to be a manga, which is rushed, for example. A lot of people are saying that it's rushed. I think it's okay. I mean, I'm not a huge manga reader anyway. I'm more of a comic book reader, so you know that those two styles are very, very different. And you know, if you don't read one or the other, then the other might not appeal to you so much anyway. But yeah, I think like maybe even a comic strip, even in a manga style, would have been fine. But yeah, just maybe something a little bit smaller and more kind of frequent. The next thing I think is set longevity. Currently, the roadmap shows a release every 3 to 4 months, and the sets don't last that long on the market because there needs to be an extra layer of collectability in the sets, I think. People complete the sets pretty easily, or they will pick up... you'll get most of the basic hollows in a box, and then you can probably pick up the more expensive singles, for example. But I don't think that many people are opening the boxes to try and complete the sets, especially when it's quite tough to pull some of the cards sometimes. Native, I think, was a perfect mix of, you know, common rares and less common rares. But I'd like to see something like a set of alt arts put into them or something like that, in addition to, you know, the Sanrio 6 or Native 19 or something like that. And they just need to, they don't need to be super hard to pull as the secret rares. They need to be just as hard to pull as, you know, Native 19 or the Sanrio 6, I think. You know, on average, like one a box, one every couple of boxes, something like that. Something that's like borderless, or, you know, the hollow bleeds. Like, for example, let me get a card up just in front of me. We'll just keep this hand. Maybe I should do. So, like, maybe for example, like the hollow could bleed around, you know, like the edges. I don't know if I can get the card up. Let me see if I can play it. Can I bring it up? So you're not going to be able to see my cursor. That's a bit annoying. Let me concede and go back, and I'll show you kind of what I mean by this. And hopefully this video is not too boring. I've got quite a lot to cover, so make sure you stick around to the end. Leave us a like and subscribe. But yeah, what I'm thinking of is, like, you know, even like hollow that bleeds down here. You know, hopefully you can see my cursor. You know, hollow that bleeds outside of the border of the actual square, for example, to make it look a little bit more special. Or, you know, alternate arts that have. I mean, you've seen how minute the details can be on some of these reverse hollows, right? But imagine through, you know, around this Tate character, all of his outlines were, you know, like a reverse holo style, you know, but the lines were holographic, and it made him stand out even more than it did on the original holo card. With some extra details, you know, like the clouds could be holographic around the edges as well, and I don't know, you know, just I don't produce cards, but I think that would look really cool. Something similar to that would be pretty cool, right? Um, yeah, but just like an extra layer of collectability, I think. Different arts, more impressive detail on the foil, you know, just something like that, just to get people to want to open more boxes, basically, because that's what Metazoo's goal is, right? Metazoo's goal is to get people to open more boxes, and I think at the moment there's not a lot of desire to keep opening boxes like there is, for example, in Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon, people will still want to open Evolving Skies, because even 2 years down the line, there's still cards in that set that they haven't got. And, you know, Brilliant Stars, there's still cards in that set that people haven't got as well, and all of the sets, you know, so people will still be happy to open up those sets. Whereas when you look at Wilderness, and I know Wilderness and UFO were sort of overprinted, but even looking at Native, which didn't quite have the same print run as the other sets, it still was quite easy to collect, right? It was still pretty easy to collect, to complete the set. And then as soon as you've completed the set, there's no reason for you to continue opening boxes, right? Because you've got everything. So I think that's definitely something that needs to be looked at. One of the things as well, I think that a lot of the last few sets have had like repeating themes or chases, you know, like Wilderness UFO. I think, was it Wilderness UFO, and then maybe even to Seance as well. They all had orbs in, and I think a lot of people didn't really enjoy the orbs that much. And even the same for the auras as well. Some of the biggest chases are the auras, and you know, the Chibi aura in Hello Kitty, for example, is a much inferior aura to the other ones in terms of playability, right? So I kind of think, like, you know, what was kind of the point of the Chibi aura anyway? I appreciate it was a good card, but yeah, it's a nice looking card, but it doesn't kind of advance the game itself. And I think definitely Metazoo need to focus on promoting the game itself now, instead of you know, collectability as such. But yeah, number 3, I think there needs to be a hell of a lot more advertising. Cryptic Clash needs to get massive advertisements. A lot of focus should be put into this, because I think a lot of, you know, probably money has gone into this as well, right? It's not easy to produce an app that's so complex like this, with hundreds of cards in it that all do different things and have different you know, abilities and functions and all that sort of stuff as well. So definitely advertisement needs to happen. So far there's been little to none, other than the New York Times Square thing, which didn't affect anybody really, other than people that were in Times Square. And these days, most people are just like staring at their phones or something, right? So are they really looking up at a Times Square advertisement? And if people are staring at their phones, you know, maybe advertisement through people's phones is where we need to be advertising. Instagram, YouTube videos, you know, we need more videos. There should definitely be Metazoo content out there. They should hire someone to create content. I'm pretty sure someone else has kind of touched on this before, but, you know, create some content. I know Metazoo posts a lot of pictures and stuff, but pictures are not very engaging, and Instagram will tell you that as well. Instagram, they don't find pictures engaging. It's more to do with videos now, and all shorts and that sort of stuff. And that's why there's been a big push towards that with YouTube, TikTok, to try and capture the sort of more short-term attention spans. But yeah, people engage with videos, so, you know, make your own videos. It can't be too expensive to do, as people do it in their bedrooms, you know, and they've got 1 million subscribers. So definitely something to do there. Secondly, in terms of advertisement, utilize all of your friends. There's a lot of partners, or at least there was a lot of partners. I don't really know who's still there, because there isn't a chat anymore for us. But utilize everybody. You know, give accurate information to everyone so they can plan ahead and for events and release launches and stuff like that. You know, whereas when like a spoiler, when the spoiler season came out, give every partner a spoiler. I mean, nobody in the UK, well, I'm the only UK partner, but there was no spoilers released to anybody in the UK. So there wasn't anybody over here that really knew what was kind of going on, unless you follow all of the, you know, the American content, right? And I think, yeah, there is a lot of American content, and this is all speaking from the UK, by the way. you know, like, I think the American market and the UK market is very, very different. Ours is much, much, much smaller. We don't have any UK content creators for Metazoo or anything like that, and that's definitely something that should be done. You know, there's a massive gap in the market for Metazoo content creators in the UK. But yeah, it's not an easy job to do. But yeah, I mean, one thing that happened, I mean, back when Native released, I actually approached eBay. Well, I didn't approach eBay. We actually met a guy that worked at eBay at a show once, and we was talking about promoting, and he was, I don't know if I should really say who he is, but anyway, he was quite high up in eBay, and the eBay TCG UK kind of page was really, really new at the time, and they was looking for kind of almost anything just to push the eBay TCG function, and they was obviously teaming up with Metazoo. They teamed up with Akora as well, done an eBay set for Akora. So what we did, we approached eBay and said to them, you know, do you want to do like a massive, there's a new Metazoo set coming out, native, it's due to be releasing on this day. Do you want to do some sort of promotion for it? And they was well up for it. They was like, yeah, definitely, we'll get some sort of promotion set up. We'll have it plastered all over the front page for eBay TCG, and then we'll sell some boxes on eBay through the platform to try and, you know, grow the brand and you know, ultimately increase sales, right? So yeah, I mean, I approached Metazoo about that, and basically they said that they didn't want to do that. They was already dealing with eBay, and for me to get eBay to contact them, so that they didn't duplicate efforts. And that was a little bit disappointing, because I've worked quite hard to build this relationship with eBay and get this promotion started. And you know, how much does it cost to promote on, you know, to get a dedicated advert on the homepage of eBay for, you know, the duration of the pre-order period, right? Probably like hundreds of thousands of pounds. You know, and on a website, a multi-billion-dollar website that has billions of users on it, over 1 billion users on it worldwide, was kind of, you know, it just kind of made me feel like, well, what was the point of trying to set that up? I should have just maybe contacted them and tried to set myself up a promotion. But that kind of bridge got burnt as a result of that. And eBay UK TCG is completely in a different place now, and they're much, much more established than what they were. So I don't think they're even looking for opportunities like that anymore. So that was a completely missed opportunity, I think. Free advertising on a massive multi-billion-dollar website, homepage spreads, and, you know, like a billboard on eBay, basically. So yeah, they should be soaking up any publicity that you can get, and definitely I think that was kind of a misstep, really. But yeah, that's definitely what should have been done. There's a lot of stuff that is obviously going on at the moment, and, you know, if they're going to promote the game, then that's, you know, sorting out all of the tournament stuff first is definitely what needs to be done. Trying to get Cryptid Clash out there is so important for the health of Metazoo throughout 2024, because I think a lot of people now are going to be focusing on, or they're going to be focusing on the play for it, right? People want to play the game, the client's out now, and hopefully people do flock to the game, and hopefully people do, you know, chase out the code cards out of Legacy. I think that's where they're supposed to be, right? Or in War when it eventually comes out. But yeah, I think all of the sets that come out in the future, they should be looking to expand the lore of Metazoo, and when they go to release a new set, I think that should be the focus: is how does this set solidify or even expand the lore within Metazoo. War, for example, is going to be extremely thematic. Apparently, there's going to be warring factions, and that's what Metazoo was originally supposed to be about. But then when we get to Seven Seas, what does that really add to the lore? You know, I'm not really too sure what the scope is with that. I know that obviously the idea is that they're going to be traveling the Seven Seas to get over to Japan, right? But I'm not even sure that Japan is necessarily the best place to go next. I mean, there is so much fantasy lore in Europe, for example. It seems crazy to me to skip by that. I mean, Europe has probably got the most rich of all lore across the world. And some of the most ancient as well in terms of, you know, like popularity. You know, you've got ancient Greeks and all that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to me, but hopefully things improve in 2024. There's a little bit of a rant, and hopefully it kind of made a little bit more sense. This isn't supposed to be an attack on Metazoo. I'm actually trying to create a video to show the direction that he can go in to kind of maybe improve things. I mean, because I think one thing that needs to be remembered, right, is that TCGs are a lifestyle choice. And I say this all the time. TCGs are a lifestyle choice, right? Convincing people to buy in to a new lifestyle is like asking them to quit, eating meat, for example, or to quit smoking or something like that. That is a lifestyle change. And TCGs are very much like that. You're either very much in or you're very much out. There are some casual collectors, but I think your most your biggest share of the market is going to be people that are just into it, right? And it's the same with Magic. People that are into Magic have been into it for 20, 30 years. Pokemon, 20, 25 years. And that's quite, those are the only two TCGs really that've been around that long, aren't they? But, I think that's kind of what they need to look at is, this is where we want to be in 10 years, and how are we going to get to that? How are we going to create a lore? How are we going to create a franchise that resonates with people? I mean, when Pokemon came out, and I said this earlier, when Pokemon came out, people instantly remembered Pikachu. Pikachu was such a huge, huge character, and still is a huge, huge character. And Pokemon recognised that he's a huge, huge character, because even since going into the new era of Pokemon, they've still got Pikachu as the main mascot, walking around with the new character. So I think that's definitely what they need to do. I mean, Sam Sinclair, definitely bring him more to the forefront if that's what, he's supposed to be the main character in Metazoo. I think he's got like 3 cards or something out of all of the cards that have ever been made. So it's kind of strange to me. I know that Ash doesn't necessarily feature a lot in the Pokemon TCG cards itself, but he does feature in them throughout the years, and I think that's definitely what needs to be done. There needs to be more of a forefront on more of the more popular beasties. Create a lore out of those. Feature those in more common sets, in sets more commonly in the future. Let me just see. Let me have a look through my notes to make sure I haven't missed anything. But yeah, advertisement's a big one. Little to no advertisement at the moment. There's no social media presence. Currently preaching to the choir. So yeah, we're preaching to the choir at the moment. There isn't any outside advertisement, it seems. And I think that's definitely one of the major hold-ups at the moment, is that there's a reliance on kind of word of mouth, or even for stores to spread the word for you. But yeah, there needs to be a little bit more support into the stores for them to want to do that. I mean, ultimately, for a store to run games and stuff like that, it has to be profitable for them, because ultimately, time is money, and if you're hosting tournaments for people that don't buy the product, for example, then they're probably not going to turn up in the first place. But even if they did, why would you host a tournament for people that are buying product elsewhere? I think one of the other things as well is there's been a lot of flack on Rudy recently, and I definitely think that they should step away from Rudy for at least for a little while. I think he was definitely great for the the initial boom and stuff, but his clientele are not the type of people that are going to enter into the economy of Metazoo outside of buying sealed products and throwing it in a cupboard or whatever. I think the type of market that Metazoo really need now are people that are going to enter into the economy full swing, buy the singles, play the game, play with the cards, create decks, enter the tournaments, maybe set up their own tournaments among communities and stuff like that. Though that is what creates a healthy economy for TCGs. And don't get me wrong, I've said before that actually I've not said this before, but a person, I don't want to blow them up either, but another content creator that I've spoken to in the past has said that TCGs need 3 different things, and that is investors, collectors, and players. All 3 of them are important, and if there's just a focus on investing and collecting, and there's no playing, then what are you kind of doing all of this for? Yeah, and I think Umu talked about that as well, and that's not to pick up what he was kind of talking about, but yeah, I think that's just kind of what needs to be done. I'm going to end the video there. Let me know if you enjoyed the video, guys. Leave us a like, subscribe if you're new here. Maybe I'll make some more Metazoo content in the future, talking about how things are going and how things can move forward. Hopefully, Legacy will be coming out very soon. We got contacted by the distributor before Christmas, asking us to confirm our order and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's going through print at the moment, but at the moment, I just think there needs to be some information out there. There's nothing happening in terms of information when the next thing's coming. Partners don't have a clue. I don't think LGSs would have even less of a clue. And nobody even knows when the next set is going to release. Like, we're already halfway through January, and we don't even know what the next set is or when the next set will even release. We're all assuming that it's going to be Legacy, but we don't know for sure. I think as well, in terms of the spoiler season as well, there needs to be a little bit more of a spoiler towards more of the cards. Just to touch on this at the end, if we're going to focus on, the game being played, I think people need to know what the metas for the decks are going to be for the next set coming out, right? So, release some of the not even necessarily the artworks for the cards, right? You don't necessarily need to show off the arts for the cards, but definitely the abilities for the cards. What new mechanics are coming in? Because when Magic release a new set, they say, Lord of the Rings is coming out, and there's going to be a new mechanic in it called Call the Elves, and when you call the elves, it just brings out an extra token or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. But then people at least know then, right, this is going to be about calling the elves. We need to, there's going to be a lot of like 1/1 creatures and all that sort of stuff. Maybe we need to build decks that have got, a lot of counters to that. Short mana cost, low damage spells that, like Fireball, for example, or Chain Lightning or Lightning Bolt, stuff like that, right? People know I'm showing my age here with some of these cards as well. But I think that's what needs to be done. There needs to be a lot more focus into the playing of the game, and there's many, many ways that can be done. But definitely advertising through Cryptic Clash, try and create a tournament in Cryptic Clash itself. I'm pretty sure that would be doable. All of the results, I'm sure, are recorded somewhere on some sort of server, or at least they will be upon full release. So hopefully we'll get there in the future. But yeah, guys, hopefully that was a little bit more positive. I know I had a couple of like negative things to say, but it was kind of like constructive criticism, really. I'm not trying to bash on Metazoo. Like I said, I'm a UK partner. At least I think I still am. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, but I don't know that I would be told otherwise anyway. But yeah, I just think there's a lot that can be done, and even now, it's been like more than 2 weeks. We've not had any information, so I just think some sort of information from Metazoo would be great. What's happening? What's the next plan? What have they got coming up in the next couple months? Because that was another thing that I didn't touch on earlier. Actually, was that the length between sets. I mean, for 2023, for example, I think a lot of people called off Metazoo just because they stopped collecting. And why did they stop collecting? Well, because there was nothing to collect. Once Native came out, the next release after that was like Disclosure Pages or something, which was like 6 months after that. And, that was just kind of like a mini set. So what is, if there's nothing to collect and people call off? It's the same what's happened with Pokemon as well, right? Pokemon's become way too easy to pull up the cards, and, the collectability of it has dropped, and less people are buying boxes. So, it's hard to know. But anyway, it's been going on for 30 minutes now. Hopefully this was interesting. Hopefully you've heard a little bit of insight from, not that I'm on the inside. I'm not on the inside in any way, shape or form, but maybe I have a little bit more information than what some people might be privy to. Not that I have, not that I'm really got my finger on the pulse on what's kind of happening in the wider social media scope. I've been watching some of the videos and stuff. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything that I've touched on here that you think would be a positive change for Metazoo going forward, let us know if there's anything that I've actually missed out on as well. Is there anything that you think I should have touched on, or anything that you've thought of that you think would actually really help Metazoo? I'm not even sure if Metazoo will watch this video. I'm not sure if anybody will watch this video actually. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys think. And this is the perspective from the UK. It's a very tight-knit community over here, and there's still a lot of collectors, but we want it to grow. Obviously, we obviously want it to grow, because otherwise, what's the point, Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments, leave a like, all that crap, and thanks a lot for listening for 35 minutes. Hopefully you've not clicked off. Hopefully it wasn't too boring, but let me know if you want to hear more stuff like this in the future. Thanks everyone. I noticed that the word defeat has been on the screen for the last God knows how long. But this is not defeat. I don't think Metazoo's dead in any way, shape, or form. But see you soon.